Question 3. The diagram shows the temperature in an oven. Part A, write down the temperature. So it's between 200 and 250. There are 10 small marks, which include 5 medium-sized marks. So each of these medium marks represents 10 degrees. 210, 220, 230, 240. So the arrow is pointing at 240 degrees Celsius. Part B. On the diagram below, draw an arrow to show a temperature of 125 degrees Celsius. So it's the same scale, so we know that each of the larger marks is worth 10, so that's 110, 120. 125 would be at this smaller mark between 120 and 130. Really good idea that can be, using a pencil, is to label what each of the marks on the outside actually means. Otherwise, mark where you want this to go and draw a straight line using a ruler. Final part, C. Lorna switches her oven on at 5:50 p.m. She sets the temperature as 180 degrees. It takes 15 minutes for the oven to reach a temperature of 180 degrees Celsius. What time will the oven reach a temperature of 180 degrees Celsius? And that's a lot of information that we don't really need. If she switches it on at 5:50 p.m, then we can assume that the oven was at 0 at that point. She sets the temperature 180 degrees. It takes 15 minutes later. So it's like all this information we don't need. It just says what time will it reach that temperature. Well, that's 15 minutes later. So we have 5:50 p.m. And if we look at 15 minutes later, that would become 5:65. Well, that's a bit silly because there's only 60 minutes in an hour. So that would become 6:05 p.m. Some people like to do this on a number line, saying if that's 5:50, 6 o'clock is 10 minutes. So how many more minutes do we have to go? That's another 5 minutes left. So 5 minutes after 6 is 6:05. 05, and we still have to include PM because we were told it was PM in the first place.